Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It's Mace coming to you from Vancouver Island in Canada. Another video on road trains. Some of you might be getting sick of road trains, but I sure as heck am not. I love these things. I love these machines. I love these units. I love the drivers. I love everything about them. And yeah, they're not used exclusively in Australia, despite what some of the previous videos, at least the titles, may have said. However, they may be used most prominently, I would guess, in Australia, and also to the greatest lengths, like the greatest distances, and have a vital, they're vital in Australia, it seems, as a network and a vital connection for certain communities and sparsely populated areas. So super cool. But yeah, they've been used in other countries, maybe not up to like 4 trailers. I was doing a little bit of research, like the US, I think, primarily has a limit on the number of trailers to 2, and the trucks total can only be 63 feet in length. And then on top of that, they can only travel on certain highway networks. And it seemed to be primarily in the northwest coast of the U.S., sparsely populated. Well, at least in terms of the U.S. Anyways, let's get to this. Meet the world's longest truck.
780 horsepower. 175 feet long.
Like, look at that. 175 feet. Damn. So almost 3 times the length of like the limit of the ones that I was just talking about in the States. Look at those axles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25.
Long. Only in Australia. Made for the Outback. Imagine a place where highways stretch on endlessly, kangaroos jump across the road without warning, and temperatures soar past 120 degrees.
Well, the road train certainly doesn't care about a kangaroo. The kangaroo goes splat.
Fahrenheit.
The kangaroo has to worry about the road train. It's not the other way around.
That's life on the Australian Outback. But here's the twist. While trucks in America might run with just a single trailer, in Australia, it's not uncommon to see massive road trains pulling 3, 4, or even up to 7 trailers.
Wait.
These enormous
7 trailers? I haven't seen any of those yet.
Trailer giants are hauling loads across some of the roughest roads in the world. But why? Why does Australia need trucks that long? And why isn't this a common sight in the US or Canada? Today, we're diving into the world of Australian trucking and what makes it so extreme. Can we get 5,000 likes to support the truckers community? First things first.
Well, it's safety reasons, obviously, and you can't have these trucks driving in populated areas or high traffic areas. Like, it's pretty simple. Not to mention I'm sure that the road trains do take a toll on these highways, and they probably need more maintenance on the highways. So, like,
Australia's geography and population are a big part of the story. Australia is almost as large as the United States in landmass, yet its population is around 24 million, significantly smaller than the US, 330 million. And unlike in America, where large populations are spread out across various regions, most Australians live along the eastern coast, meaning the rest of the land is open, barren, and often wild. To connect remote mines, farms, and towns to the major cities, truckers have to cover vast, often empty stretches of land. So, while in America, trucking involves routes with frequent stops and smaller loads, Australia's sparse...
Yeah, trucking in the States and North America primarily is designed for shorter, quicker trips, right? And quicker delivery. These ones are meant to be literally a train, pretty much taking the place of a train.
Infrastructure requires trucks capable of covering thousands of miles and hauling massive loads to make those trips worthwhile. The result? The iconic Australian road train, a monster of a vehicle unlike anything you'd regularly see in North America. Road trains are unique to Australia and play a crucial role in keeping the country's economy.
I kind of wish George Miller would make a sequel to Fury Road, but instead of just the war rig with like the one trailer on the back, it's like a road train and there's like can you imagine some of the action scenes that he could make with that? Damn.
Running. Standard road trains typically consist of 3 44-foot trailers and can carry up to 120 tons. These trucks are built tough, equipped to handle the rugged roads and extreme conditions of the Outback. Some even haul 6 trailers at a time, mainly in mining operations where they carry essential resources over long distances. In comparison, you'd never see a 6-trailer setup in the US or Canada. Their infrastructure is built for traditional semi-trucks and shorter hauls, with most trucking routes passing through densely populated areas and interstates.
That's a lot of trucks.
The road train setup wouldn't make sense there, and it would be too dangerous on American highways. Australia's vast and varied landscape demands different types of trucks for different jobs.
Yeah.
Here's a quick breakdown. Cab over trucks. These trucks, with their flat front design, are ideal for city driving. In Australia's larger cities, cab over trucks dominate because they're compact and easier to maneuver on tighter city streets. Plus, their design gives drivers a better field of view, which is helpful in dense traffic. Long-nosed trucks, known for their extended hoods and spacious cabs, these trucks are perfect for long-haul trips across the Outback. With the engine positioned in the front, they're easier to repair on the road, a crucial feature when you're hundreds of miles from the nearest repair shop.
Yep.
Unlike American and Canadian truckers who typically stick to one style, Australian truckers use a mix of these trucks.
I think I might have mentioned in one of my previous videos, but my dad was a trucker for a period of time, and I always loved going in these units, and so cool, man.
Depending on their route and load. This adaptability is part of what makes Australian trucking so unique. Now let's talk about what it's really like to drive one of these trucks. The Outback is not...
Make your browser fast.
The Outback is not to be played with. I think that's what he was going to say. You got to travel hundreds, thousands of kilometers.
Whole other world of hazards. At night, the roads come alive with kangaroos, which can weigh up to 200 pounds and cause serious damage if hit. This is why almost every truck in Australia
Better have some good guards on the front then.
has a reinforced bull bar, or roo bar, on the front. Without them, hitting 4 or 5 kangaroos on one trip can leave a truck severely damaged. Then there's the heat. With temperatures reaching up to 120 degrees Fahrenheit, truckers must carry extra water and fuel.
So what is, let me know in the comments, the hottest temperatures you've seen in Australia. I know in the video we watched about Maxine Taylor, the road train driver, she described 48 degrees Celsius. And I mentioned that the hottest I've seen in Canada anyways was 40 degrees, which was a few years ago when it was just really unusually hot summer.
The extreme...
Oh, I had some people were a little bit perturbed in the comments because I mentioned climate change. Yeah, they really, that got to them. That got under a few people's skin. That climate change is a hoax and da-da-da-da. Okay, yeah, whatever.
Extreme weather takes a toll on tires, engines, and brakes, meaning that Australian trucks are built to be resilient. Regular maintenance is non-negotiable because a breakdown out there can leave you stranded for hours or even days. Australia has strict regulations for truck drivers, and it's not unusual to hear drivers joke about the Book of Lies, their logbook, where they record driving hours. Legally, truckers can drive up to 12 hours a day, but must stop every 4 hours for a 30-minute break. But many drivers admit to bending the rules to meet deadlines or complete long...
Which is not really a good thing at all. There's a reason those regulations are in place, to prevent driver fatigue and whatnot. But I don't want to focus on that part of the video. I just want to look at these awesome machines.
Trips on time. While it's common to stretch the limits, the strict code of conduct ensures that companies, freight forwarders, and drivers
safety.
are all...
At the end of the day, it's all about safety for the drivers of these units, these road trains, other users of the road, other drivers, right? Like, that's the whole point of safety regulations. And they're usually put in place because horrific accidents happened in the past, because and that's why they need certain regulations, right? That's why regulations happen.
all accountable. And unlike in the US, where fines mostly target drivers, Australia's system holds everyone in the supply chain responsible. If a company pressures a driver to break the law, they can be fined just like the driver. This shared responsibility has been a game changer in keeping roads safer. Australia faces a shortage of truck drivers, with many truckers in their 50s and fewer young people joining the industry. This shortage is driven partly by the challenging working conditions and the remote nature of the job. Drivers often spend days or weeks away from home, living out of their trucks. To combat this,
So on the last road train video we did, Maxine Taylor was the driver and she was featured, and she was an awesome lady. I suggest you go check out that video if you're interested in seeing. It was a super heartwarming story. She was like, her husband was a road train driver and he passed away, and then she was doing it sort of after he passed away as a way to kind of keep close to him, and it was like almost made me cry, to be honest. But yeah, they should pay people better. I think she's probably making pretty good money, but she described a shift which was 8 weeks in, so 8 weeks working and then 2 weeks off, that's incredibly grueling. Like, does she work 6 months of the year? Like, I don't know, but 2 months driving and then 2 weeks off? No wonder they can't find drivers. Like, if that's typical of a road train driver shift, like, that's just, the quality of life is not going to be there. Like, you get, right? Like, even though you get 2 weeks off at a time, my brother does a similar sort of thing, but to a much lesser degree. So he goes out for usually about a month, maybe a month and a week. So let's say 40, 45 days, and then he's usually home for at least 30 days, maybe sometimes more, right? So it's more so if he's out for 2 months, he's home for 2 months. If he's out for a month, he's back for a month, which is much more reasonable and much more conducive to living a happy, healthy family life, right? So
companies have tried to bring in overseas drivers, but this approach hasn't worked well.
I'm sure that's controversial.
Inexperienced drivers, unfamiliar with Australia's unique roads and hazards, have led to an increase in accidents. Many Australians see this as a controversial move, arguing that it compromises road safety.
Fair enough.
For American and Canadian truckers, this might all sound foreign. In North America, trucks stick to highways and are rarely as overloaded as their Australian counterparts. The concept of road trains would likely be a logistical nightmare on North American highways, where the focus is on shorter hauls and faster delivery times between densely populated cities. In America, trucks are built for comfort, and drivers have access to plenty of truck stops, gas stations, and repair shops along their routes. They also enjoy more leeway in terms of cab sizes, which allows for sleeper cabs that feel almost like mini RVs, perfect for long hauls. In Australia, though, trucks are designed with function over comfort. Sure, they might have air conditioning and enough space to sleep, but every inch is maximized for carrying extra fuel, water, and emergency supplies.
Just like the war rig.
So why are Australian trucks so long and built like tanks? It's a reflection of the country itself, vast, harsh, and endlessly demanding. Australia's unique approach to trucking isn't just about handling massive loads, it's about survival and resilience. It's about engineering solutions that make sense in a place where road trips are measured in days, not hours. As the Australian trucking industry faces new challenges, from driver shortages to extreme weather, one thing is certain: these trucks will continue to be a symbol of rugged adaptability. And with that, we leave you with a question. Would you take on the challenge of driving a road train across the Outback? Thanks for joining us on this journey into the world of Australian.
I suppose if I was compensated properly and had adequate training, possibly, I would contemplate it.
Trucking. If you enjoyed learning about these massive road trains and what it's like to drive across Australia, give
how World War II created Australia's road train industry. We might have to check that one out. But yeah, a lot of interesting stuff in that video to sink our teeth into. From the difficulty of hiring road train drivers, getting overseas drivers, the harshness of the Outback, the regulations, the rules and regulations, and how everybody in the supply chain even can be penalized and fined, and possibly even criminal charges. I'm not sure, but like if there was an accident and somebody was bending the rules, like he said, the book of lies, the logbook, which is not, that's not a good thing right? Like regulations exist for a reason. All right. See you all in the next one.